Testing, testing. Hello, hello, hello. We will be going live officially in 7 minutes. Just putting all the social media stuff out right now. Testing, testing. Hello, hello, hello. We will be going live officially in 7 minutes. Just putting all the social. What's a good background song we can play for you guys? Background beat here. Where we go? Think about what I just did. boy. All right, here we go, boys. Get your coffees ready and your sanity at level, because we got another hours and hours and hours of watching robot fighting to come today. I'm looking forward to it. I will say, as a wrestling fan, I've been falling behind on the wrestling that I've been trying to watch, but it's all good. Get comfortable. We're going up in just a second. Ew. That's not Buble, ladies and gentlemen. Breakfast of champions right there. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second live streaming day here at the Combot Collective for NHRL Sparky's Circus? Is that what we're calling it now? So we're bringing everything you want to know from the world of robot combat, from the heavyweight class to the flyweight class, from BattleBots to right here in the live circuit. NHRL is almost rude to call them the live circuit now, because I feel like they've, gone up that higher level. Everyone's talking about them. These guys are on the Today Show now. I don't even know if I remembered to mention that yesterday during our morning stream. These guys are on the Today Show now. We had, it's actually kind of funny. I don't remember the gentleman that was there as the news anchor, whose kids are apparently big robot combat fans. You love to see that. But I didn't know that there'd be someone that important there. When I was watching the May event with some of my family, my stepfather actually went, "Hey, that's I think that's one of the guys from Today or Good Morning America." And I was like, "Are you sure? Why would they be at NHRL?" He's like, "I see that guy in the morning a lot on like NBC." And I'm like, "Are you sure this is one of them Norwalk news anchors? Someone local in Connecticut?" He's like, "I'm not sure. He looks really familiar." And I just kind of brushed it off. And then, God damn it, 1 week earlier from today, I see that exact guy on Today, talking about the event. They did like a whole 10-minute bit. They thought it was funny. I thought they butchered the name when they were talking about it then. They were calling it the National Havoc Robot League. No, it's just apparently what it's called now. I dig it. Very jarring, though, to see that whole video, to see Al Roker standing in front of a giant promotional picture of Huge, all these things. But hey, that's huge for NHRL. Big stuff for them. I'm super glad they were able to, get that big public spotlight on them. I'm sure it's definitely brought in a few fans for this very weekend. And these fans, we're all hungry for more robot combat now. BattleBots is over. And with Extreme Robots, with NHRL, with other amazing competitions like Robots Live, SmashBots, the stuff that happens down in Florida, and, in the Midwest, too, with Texas and Colorado events. There's robot combat everywhere right now. Utterly fantastic. And what an utterly fantastic day of preliminaries entering our rounds of 16 that we're starting today that we had yesterday. I mean, our qualifying rounds were fantastic. I mentioned it a little bit in the pre-steam. My boys at Team XD, they made me proud. Very interesting day for them. It's a shame, an absolute shame they didn't make it to day 2 action. Let's just go ahead and start talking about that. I am so stoked. I was so stoked to see, Spitfire and 30 Below compete inside the arena. We have where is it? We got the Sub-Zero sticker right there. We got the poker chip right over here. So our support's always present, but I'm not a Facebook guy. When I see my robot combat news, I usually see it on Discord, on Instagram, sometimes on Reddit. I don't really get on the Facebook page too much unless I'm sharing things on the T.C.C page, or very rarely I'm on my own personal page. Never really looking at stuff unless it's BattleBot supporters. So apparently this was announced already, and it somehow flew past my radar. But yes, Spitfire, yes, that drone which competed at BattleBots with the likes of Sub-Zero, Texas Twister, Lockjaw. It showed up at this event. And I genuinely don't think we've seen something like this since SPS 50 at Robot Wars USA back in 1995. Let's go ahead and let's watch one of the highlights of that fight. Maybe see if we can find something. And maybe I can see, I'm gonna look this up to show you exactly how long it's been since we've had a robot like this fight. A little bit of a history lesson for everyone. Facing a robot named Ziggy, that's an old familiar name.
Wait, what?
Y'all can hear me well, right? Okay, good. Saw the mic. Shouts to Jonathan Ritter, but take a look at this thing it's facing. Doesn't this... Come on, Ziggy, scoot over. Move forward a little bit. Show your opponent. Look at this thing it is facing. 2 big weather balloons, a giant net. Would like to see a drone enlist that, to be honest. And then the propellers right in the middle. They obviously got a little bit... Oh, pop balloons. Obviously, they got a little bit janked up there on the little pendulum thing. But that was in 1995. That is the last time we saw a standalone flying combat robot enter any sort of robot combat event, period, to my knowledge at least. You know, we've seen some crazy things like the 150-gram version of Globetrotter, which literally just spends the entire fight bouncing around the arena like a bouncy ball. But to see a flying robot come into an event and probably do better than any flying robot ever has. I mean, obviously the competition, not the best, but I mean, it was amazing. You know, watching that first fight against the odds-on favorite like Billy and how it just floated over, lighting it up. Some people were really upset. Some people were like, oh, drones shouldn't fight drones. Robots need to fight drones. Well, first of all, I don't think a drone versus drone fight would be entertaining in the slightest. They would hover around, struggle to hit each other, and once they did bounce into each other, they both die. Second of all, I mean, this is just something special. I don't think it's going to happen again. I think rules are going to get implemented to stop something like this from happening. Maybe they won't because they were eventually solved. Going through Spitfire's whole run here, Spitfire did defeat Billy in a massive shock. Took on Wake from Wake and Bake. Only one half of the crew over there from the Shreddit Bro Bong Squad. But it was awesome seeing Wake compete, taking on this big robot, though. Spitfire flying through the air. They tried a special tactic. They had a long antenna, a little feather on top from Squire. Just really didn't work out. But Half-Life, a robot which is already a control robot, had, you know, this long metal pole, just this long, thin swicky stick that was able to take him out of the air. It was incredibly impressive. Let's see what we got here. We're going good. We got people on. Hope you guys are all doing good on this fine morning, drinking your coffee, eating your breakfast, enjoying some cereal, some ham and eggs. But yes, Half-Life with this waggly metal stick. Their goal from that entire fight was try to stick that stick right into one of Spitfire's propellers, and they actually did manage to pull it off. I think part of it played into Spitfire trying to feel like it could be a little bit more aggressive against a non-spinner robot. It wasn't nearly near the top of the arena as much as it was in fights prior, so that probably played a factor into it. I want to see Spitfire back, maybe with a little mini-bot at the bottom, so technically there's something for it to fight, but that was a very special thing, what we saw in the arena there. I said it in one of my Discord servers, in 20 plus years of watching robot combat, I've never seen anything like that, and that very, very rarely happens anymore. I was just standing up befuddled, but I won't spend this entire live stream gushing over Spitfire. I promise I won't. I got my hype for Team XD out of the way. 30 Below, like I mentioned, also a very exciting thing to see. They were taking on all the weird robots. I mean, they defeated Pepe Silvia in their first fight for both those robots, Colorado versus Texas. I believe 30 Below won that fight, moved into the bracket, took on Panjadrum. Panjadrum had a really tough fight that first fight. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. We'll talk about it later. Looked pretty good here. 2 massive hits to 30 Below. One broke the flipper. One flipped it over, knocked it out. They had a big anti-spinner plow on 30 Below for that fight. It really just didn't work out. Kind of got in the way. that was a bit disappointing. I got to admit, felt like I was just back to being a Sub-Zero fan there in that one moment, but it is what it is. Let's see here and go ahead and talk about other robots though that aren't specific homers of mine. Though I will say, talking about homers of mine, I'll go back to it and nail it in one more time. Shout outs to Wormhole and Blackbird, my robots, my boys. Tony D'Ambrosio from RRML, and one of the people he's always hyped up with me, Wormhole and their crew, Team Wormhole. Both of them, friends of the Combot Collective. They've done amazing so far. I think collectively they haven't lost once. And they're now both in the round 32, round of 16, whichever area we're going to be kicking it off today when the stream goes ahead and gets rolling once again. But we got our brackets right here. It looks like Combat's going to be kicking off and resuming. Probably within the next 34 minutes, there's going to be an all-rookie tournament happening today as well. Something to fill in between all these big matches. We kind of have the bracket pulled up right here. A lot of interesting names in this group. We got Count Forcula. We got New York Slice, a interesting British robot that turned a lot of heads yesterday. By the way, I had no clue we were going to have so many British robots at this event. That's another thing that really made it past my view of scope for whatever reason. A lot of British robots, though, in both the 12-pound and 3-pound arena. I think out of all of them, though, my favorite has to be either... Ow, name's escaping me. All these robots, they're brand new in my mind. Chili Daddy. We're going to be talking a ton about Chili Daddy tomorrow. I actually decided to cancel out one of the robots I was going to be writing about. Instead, I picked Chili Daddy to cover instead. So we're going to be talking a lot about Chili Daddy tomorrow. But for New York Slice, very fun robot. It's a shame they lost to Silent Spring when they did in the tournament. Who else is here that's really good? Staying Alive. Timber. Very excited to see Timber. Gold Dust from Sam Elliott of RoboCast, taking on Rick Roller. The Army Ants. I'm so glad we're going to see the Army Ants again. A 4-way swarm cluster bot. Something we really haven't seen since the Four Horsemen. Echo Bot, Little Wooly, the mini mammoth that we saw once yesterday. Too Hot to Bot. That was a fun team. Young Captain there. Cranky version 2. A lot of unique robots here. Tell you what, I am super bummed there is no Spitfire in this little group right here. Kind of sad, but I get why. Maybe they're not really considered a proper a proper rookie since they have competed in the past. I don't know. Maybe they're too damaged. Maybe they only had one Spitfire present for this competition. Really don't get why so many people were mad about Spitfire, man. Yes, it's a weird style of attack. It has a advantage using the third dimension instead of being a 2D robot, but it also has 1 HP. Just get it down there and pull it down and just go womp, womp, womp. Just give it the work. Beat it up. Tear it apart. But you got to get out of the air first. I got to quit gushing about Spitfire. I really did just have so much fun with how that robot did, as it's now 8:12 a.m. here in the Central Time Zone. We're taking a look at this rookie bracket. For some reason, Slingbot's already advanced. I guess Juggernaut had the forfeit or something. I'm not too sure. Like I mentioned, though, it looks like around 7:44, we're going to see some of these machines start fighting one another, starting with Timber and Boo. Timber coming from Team Sus, the Glitter Bomb itself. Awesome kids running that robot. I hope it somehow finds a way to have a run in this all-rookie tournament. But I had some graphics up yesterday. We're going to go ahead and pull them up now. Let's see how all of our storyline robots, our robots to follow, and most importantly, my predictions, how are they holding up? But let's do this real quick. I'm all over the place. I do apologize. I got up an hour ago. I talked about Blackbird. I talked about Wormhole. Let's talk about our sponsor here at the Combot Collective. RobotsAreInMyLife.com, ran by the guy who runs Blackbird, Tony D'Ambrosio, an awesome person. This is pretty much your main hub for NHRL merchandise outside of the NHRL fan store. We have merchandise from numerous robot combat teams and live event teams on the East Coast. We're talking Omega Team, Team Shreddit, Team Milk Tank, robots such as Wake and Bake, Milk Tank, Shreddit, Starchild, Ripperoni, P1, among others. They have classic NHRL merchandise there. They have Robots Ruin My Life logo merchandise there. And like I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to announce it again here today. I actually forgot to take it out of the closet. You can kind of see it there. Look. Da-da-da. We're doing a giveaway for this bad boy, and it's likely going to open up either late tonight or early tomorrow, maybe midway through tomorrow. It'll be posted on all of our social medias, though. Just sort of something to celebrate the halfway point of this NHRL season. We are going to be giving away, as we now get out of our sponsor bit here, this NHRL 2022 Finals Wake and Bake shirt. We gave away a purple version of this shirt a few months back to celebrate the start of the NHRL season. Well, now here comes our second round. This is going to be our second to last giveaway. We're going to do one more giveaway during the start of BattleBots Champions. It's going to be, I believe, a Star Child shirt. Maybe I'm incorrect by that. We also already did our BattleBots prediction giveaway for a 2022 Top 32 bracket. That was won by a gentleman in the UK. Oh man, I'm gonna die paying for shipment for that, but I am still very excited. Shout outs to MRBK, our winner of our Beg BattleBots Pick'ems contest. They're getting the major prize drop. But that's enough for me now. Let's talk about these robots. Robots that I said to watch out for starting yesterday. And some of these robots did good, some of these robots did bad. Every single robot but one here, I believe, is still in the main tournament. As I pull up the bracket for the 3-pound class right here, right now. Looks like Blackbird versus Record Scratch is going to be starting us off when we go live today. I'm pretty excited about that. We were just talking about Blackbird. All right, sorry. Just making sure I have my ducks in a row here. Yeah, Beetleways to watch. I talked about all these machines yesterday. How are they doing? Well, Billy, we already talked about Billy a little bit. The matchup against Spitfire, it was very controversial. It's a shame Billy was the first guinea pig of this new drone bot experiment. Oh, sorry. Early morning and all that. But I believe Billy did get one bounce back win later on in the event, only to then lose to Hamshake, the brand new two-way Droopy clone made by G3 Robotics. One half of it is being controlled by Aaron. One half of it is being controlled by the legendary Jameson Go. And sadly, this robot would be able to be the one to take out Hamshake. And Hamshake's actually been a bit of a crazy run this event. I didn't really know much about it entering this. Bit of a spiritual sequel to Tale of Three Hams. Took out Billy, took out Skidmark, took out Backlash Wave. That's another very serious robot. And now we're going to have a battle of the fun designs later on this morning. Hot Wings versus Hamshake. Let's take you to the bracket right here so you can see what I'm looking at. Make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Oh, that's not big at all. What's going on here? Oh my goodness. Technical difficulty Jones. There we go. There we go. Jeez. Gotta reach all the way over to the other side of my desk here. Yeah, there we go. Hamshake versus Hot Wings. If you don't remember Hot Wings from yesterday, it appeared a lot during the first half of the stream. It is essentially a giant hugger, something like Absolutely Clawful from the UK. But instead of just grabbing robots, it has two heating elements on the ends of its claws, which burn robots to a crisp. We've seen that robot do some crazy things to just about everybody except Blackbird so far in this tournament. This is going to be a battle of the incredibly conceptual here. Two-way gyro bots versus a heat hugger? I really don't know what you can call it, but it's been a very impressive run so far by Handshake, taking out one of our robots to watch out for in Billy. As we go back to a list, one robot is still around, still surviving though, Clyde. Clyde, we already mentioned the whole storyline going on with that robot entering this competition. We weren't sure if Clyde could even compete because of the whole ordeal with the flamethrower and everything. But we've seen so many flames in this event, from Kazaa to Clyde to, of course, Spitfire to even Hot Wings. It's been a red hot event, and that's going to keep continuing on today. Clyde defeated Promheda in very, very, very hot fashion to close out day one of NHRL for it. And it's going to be moving on to another red hot battle here, hopping back over to our main overlay, Caldera versus Clyde. Now, I'm sure these two robots have fought before. They are both very much long-time veterans of NHRL. They are both WPI-affiliated robots. Two machines that are known for getting a little bit spicy. One literally spicy, one spicy in name only, but I'll be very interested to see if that big spinner of Caldera can handle the flamethrower and those nasty, those rugged forks of Clyde. Here's another robot that's just done very, very well for itself this competition. We've already brought it up a few times, I believe undefeated to this very point so far. We got Silent Spring. We just saw it knock out New York Slice. We saw it knock out another veteran. Sorry, not knock out. We saw it pull a judge's decision against another veteran in Stoneforge, another veteran which we haven't seen in quite some time. And here's another big marquee matchup for everyone to look forward to today. Probably nothing but big marquee matchups, to be quite honest, during this day 2 of NHRL action. Synthesis versus Silent Spring. Now, we already saw Synthesis meet its heroes in the 30-pound class. Cataclysm took on a robot very much inspired by it, or I should say a robot it was very much inspired by, and our defending 2022 champion Emulsifier. But we'll get to Emulsifier later. Silent Spring is going to be fighting Synthesis today to kick off, probably within the next few hours. Big vertical spinner that won't die versus big horizontal spinner that won't die. Silent Spring does have the weight advantage with the shuffling legs. We'll have to see how that plays out. We got some people in the commentary. It's wow! Okay. At first I thought I had some toxic goon saying I was a disgrace to the sport again. No, it's just Penguin Robotics over here with Death by the Hit. You know, for Adam, for as much as I put you over, you say this to me? Ugh. The gall, the brash, the boldness. I can't believe you. See, someone's... Oh, man, my voice is gone, dude. Some goon's going to come in here, see that message, and he's like, oh, man, this guy's actually bad. Let's get out of here. No, I'm kidding, though. Shout-outs to Silent Spring. Shout-outs to Death by the Hit, and shout-outs to Team Penguin Robotics. They're playing about as red hot as the Cincinnati Reds right now. Let's look up Death by the Hit and see exactly where our friend has placed. Oh, bummer. Lost to Crash Fest. I'm the bad one, Adam. Look at this. Look at this. You lost to Crash Fest. You lost to a robot without a weapon. Who does that? Come on now. No, I'm only giving Adam a hard time like he's giving me. Death by the Hit started off the event 2-0. Very impressive. I know Adam was super excited about that. I'm super happy for him. And losing to a robot which has won an NHRL event in the past, you know, who's going to be upset about that? That was a very solid performance by Death by the Hit, Team Penguin Robotics. So good, a heavyweight team stole their name, used the robot at RoboGames. Looks like Warhard did make it a little further into the bracket. We're going to be talking about that robot next, or we would. That was, you know, as we saw in my graphic, the other robot I said to watch out for in the 3-pound class. Lost to Crash Fest. And what I believe, what is this, the round of 16? The round 32 lost to Crash Fest. Man, seems so close. We saw Warhard at the very top of the stream pretty early on take a brutal knockout loss. Really didn't get much time on TV. Shame this match didn't make it on stream because I think this would have been a fun one to watch. I never have Brett Vision on. I always miss these other crazy matches just because I don't want to overwhelm myself. I mean, like I mentioned yesterday, I write 10 robots down for each class. Those are the robots I take notes on. I don't want to, I can't do notes for every single fight. Otherwise, I'd never want to watch robot fighting again. But I digress. Crash Fest, Warhard. I hope we can see someone avenge my boy's Death by the Hit. It's going to be Crash Fest versus Pensa Prosciutto. The full body ring spinner taking on the control bots. Both of those robots have a very good chance at winning, but both of them are pretty much going to have that make that fight go 100% their own way. We're going to have to see how it plays out. The winner of that fight is going to be taking on the winner of Blackbird and Record Scratch. Maybe this is my ignorance. Maybe I just forgot the machine's name after watching it a bunch, but I have no recollection of Record Scratch yesterday. Let's do some research here, kids. Don't think I see it. Oh well. We won't worry about that right now. We already talked a lot about our 3-pounders. We'll go over real quick what round of, 16 matchups we should look forward to before we move on to our 12-pound discussion here. Scrolling up on the bracket. Oh, let me get off this overlay. I'm sorry, y'all. Of course, like I mentioned, Blackbird versus Record Scratch. Winner of that's going to face Crash Fest versus Pensa Prosciutto. So if my boy Blackbird can make it through Record Scratch, I feel pretty confident about that matchup. Silent Spring is going to be taking on Synthesis, and the winner of that's going to be taking on Voxel version 1 versus Yippee. Yippee is a 3-pound version of Colorado's top-tier drum bot, Yahoo. Really had Yahoo going pretty far into this competition, but it got knocked out by Chonky pretty early on in the stream yesterday. I don't know if they're still in the bracket or that was a qualifier fight. But Voxel version 1 versus Yippee is going to be taking on the winner of Silent Spring versus Synthesis. A lot of vertical spinners lined up for Silent Spring, most likely. And then we have Caldera versus Clyde. Hot Bots go into battle. Hamshake versus Hot Wings, which may very well be happening right now. It looks like they're about to update it. I'm not sure. Sea Dragon's Roar is going to be taking on Chili Daddy. I just mentioned Chili Daddy. It is the last standing international representative in our competition today, I do believe. And then Jetlag versus Wormhole. Like I mentioned, Wormhole still in this competition. It has defeated Voltage. It defeated Absolute Zero on a forfeit. It defeated Scab Armor on a judge's decision. Now it's taking on Jetlag. Like I already mentioned, Jetlag is a solid robot. Lars brought this machine a 3-pound championship at Motorama in February. Also won Best Driven Robot at that event. This is going to be a true driving battle. RoboGames veteran against Motorama veteran. Only one can come out on top, and only one can face the winner of, Sea Dragon's Roar and Chili Daddy. Let's see here. But now, as we hop over to the 12-pound class, take a look at our 12-pounders to take a look at. Cthulhu there at the bottom. He's making us sure proud. Disco as well up top. We only saw Disco compete once yesterday, and it was a very, very decisive knockout victory, showing that the old school robot, a robot that's been around longer than NHRL has, it still got it. Looks as good as ever. Number 41 ranking with Brutus Robotics. Where are they placing in this big tournament of big names? There we go. Oh, man. This is one that we all going to need to tune into later on today. Let's go back to my overlay cam here. Disco versus Minor Threat 5. It's going to look like the Motorama Arena in there. Of course, we'll talk about my predictions later. I had Minor Threat 5 winning this class. I still have Minor Threat 5 winning this class. Though one thing did come up that we did not know about. Apparently, Minor Threat 5's main captain and driver was not able to attend this competition. So instead, Derek Tran of Gigabyte fame, the gentleman who has been driving Gigabyte all of the 2022 BattleBot season, he's taking the wheel for Minor Threat 5. And you have some people, including my boy Mantine, one of our co-hosts here, that would spell doom for Minor Threat 5. A lot of people have been very critical of Derek Tran's driving in in BattleBots with Gigabyte. But Gigabyte is a very hard to drive robot. Any full body spinner is going to be hard to drive, so I will give Derek Tran some due there. Minor Threat 5 is your classic vertical spinner. It has the Shreemec. It works great. We've already seen that machine knock out 2 robots with the greatest of ease during this competition, and it's going to be fighting Disco up next. How will it do? We're just going to have to see how it plays out. That's going to be a bombastic matchup of Motorama level proportions, though. Very excited to see how that plays out. Full court now. We talked about full court having the steel chair in our morning stream yesterday. No more steel chair, sadly. Apparently, there was enough complaint and criticism about the robot operating as a weapon in name only and just being a big wedge that they added little lifters to the front of the robot instead of the steel chair. Pretty much the same concept, still the biggest robot in the class. I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I do believe we already have seen full court get eliminated. Yeah, geez, full court didn't even make the bracket. We saw full court pretty much struggle in both of its fights. I believe it won its first fight. Judge's decision, I might be wrong, had some drive issues going on during that matchup. But then in its second fight, I believe versus, who was it? Let me double check my notes here. It wasn't a pretty one for full court. Yes, it was the battle of the two widest robots in the 12-pound class. Full court versus the UK's Tactical Toucan. Tactical Toucan was essentially a 12-pound robot inspired by live scene regular two-headed death flamingo. It had the big wide flamingo wings, but instead of a couple of pecking hammers, it had a hammer saw on it, and all it was going to take was one hammer saw strike to knock out full court. So full court went 0-2 probably. Number 6 in NHRL ranking, not for long. It's going to get knocked down a few pegs. Still, wouldn't worry too much about it. It's already qualified for the NHRL finals. Let's move on to a robot which placed second at Motorama 2023. Another machine which probably would love another opportunity to face Disco. We got Nightcrawler. And unlike Nightcrawler, by the looks of things here, let's go over to our bracket. Nightcrawler is indeed still in the competition. Honey Shock versus Nightcrawler. The Honey Crack team, they've done pretty all right this competition. Very proud of them. Happy Meal, maybe not so much. That was a very fun design. We'll get to that later. But Nightcrawler, it's been an interesting competition for them so far. I believe they won their first matchup of the competition, taking on Torrent. Yes, a already qualified robot, Torrent, took only 2 shots to knock Torrent out, lodge it into the floor. But in its second fight, it took on a robot going by the name of Yobnal, a machine which, if you remember that aforementioned Motorama 2023 event, Nightcrawler knocked Yobnal out. And this is a big event for Yobnal. Out of all the robots in the Team Defective ranks, an elite team in the 12-pound class, you know, we got machines like Voxel, Krunk, Carmen, Promheda. They've all already qualified for the NHRL finals. Yobnal, a former event winner, a former #1 ranked NHRL robot, still had not. But they were able to knock out Nightcrawler to get a little bit of revenge from what happened. That was weird. I lost Mike there for a second. But yes, Yobnal trying to join its buddies. And it's not going to have an easy task. Look at that for our first fight. Yobnal versus Bobby. Bobby being, you know, that high set undercutting weapon. Those things just eat up vertical spinning weapons. They eat up the vertical spinner's belts. That's going to be a tough one. And I believe the winner of that will get to have a chance to fight for a spot in the NHRL finals. They're going to be taking on the winner of Whittly Wah and Super Scope. Super Scope, one of those robots that has really impressed me at this competition so far. Really didn't write too much about it, and that is a mistake on my part because it's been a damn good machine. Let's see here. Let's go back to our main page here. Big graphic on the screen again. Nightcrawler's looking good. Disco's looking good. But what about Cthulhu? We just talked about University of Cincinnati Super Scope, but what about its older sibling? Not many horizontal spinners left in the competition, but Cthulhu is one. It has the big LED bar on the back, which, fun fact, I didn't know this. The Maximizer captain told us. It actually has a bit of a fun purpose. Whenever that Big horizontal spinner on Cthulhu spins up to full speed. That big LED light on the back of Cthulhu actually starts flickering from the gained power inside the robot. That's just such a fun concept. Makes it look like, that big storm's coming in. Oh, man, big fan of that. Going to the bracket, though, real quickly here. Cthulhu is going to be fighting Torrential, so it is going to be a big-time downpour battle. Thankfully, Cthulhu already lives in the water. Should be all right. Torrent and Torrential haven't looked too hot this tournament, not compared to how they did in January. This is the first time we've seen them since that controversial January event for them. Doesn't look like Torrent's in the competition anymore, so Donald's really going to be having to hope that Torrential can bring them a pretty deep run. Maybe get them a golden dumpster if they're lucky. Let's move forward here. That's what we have right now for our 12-pound robots. Yobnal is going to be fighting Bobby. The winner of that's going to be fighting Whitley Wall and Super Scope. Whitley Wall didn't look too hot earlier in the competition, so I'm surprised it's still in. Huge is going to be taking on Earl. I don't believe Huge made it on TV once yesterday, though I might be incorrect. Essentially a 12-pound version of our BattleBots runner-up, Huge. Earl did appear on TV. Classic two-wheel drive vertical spinning drum bot. Vertical spinning wedge bot, I should say. Looked okay versus the Tactical Toucan. Was able to knock the British Bird out. And then we got Crunk versus Flip and Cut 12. Flip and Cut coming from us from the Project Liftoff guys. This is a 12-pound version of Flip and Cut, as the name implies. Taking on Crunk, a machine that's already qualified. That's going to be an uphill battle for Flip and Cut. Carmen, another Team Defective robot, like I mentioned, elite. Competed at Motorama, did well. Competes at NHRL, is already qualified for the finals. They're going to be taking on Ray Billings. He's making a killing, and he's done great at this event so far. I believe both disinformation and fake news are still in the bracket. We only saw one fight each from both of those robots yesterday, unfortunately. But we did see fake news have a bit of a struggling victory against Flashbang. It was a bit of an awkward win. They're going to be taking on Carmen. That's going to be big. I already mentioned Disco, Minor Threat. Already mentioned Nightcrawler, Honeyshock, Cthulhu, and Torrential. 16 elite robots, but only 4 can make it to the NHRL finals. I cannot wait to follow this storyline. I will say, of course, we all love double elimination brackets. We all want to see robots get their fair shake. But, man, when the stakes are their stakes are on the line once you get to this big single elimination bracket. Every fight just means that much more. Every error is just that much bigger. It's big stuff, man. I love it. But we've talked about the small boys. We talked about the 3-pounders, the rookies, the 12-pounders. Let's get to some big guapo 45-pound robots, 30-pound robots, cluster bots. Let's talk about these 30-pound machines. We got Pepe Sylvia and Ponjadrum up front and center here. We'll go ahead and talk about them first. We already discussed Ponjadrum a little bit. The big traffic cone that could is still in the competition, sadly, because they eliminated my boy, Mini Sub-Zero, 30 below, and a bit of a disappointing fight, I gotta say. Texas on Texas showdown. Very good to see a Texas robot go far into this tournament, but I really wanted it to be Sub-Zero. I love flippers, and we don't see enough flippers in NHRL. We really don't, because there's no UDA zones. Makes it kind of tricky. I genuinely don't remember the last time we've seen a flipper inside the NHRL arena since Kelpie. So this is impressive. Maybe the first 30-pound flipper we've seen in quite some time in the United States of America, and not a sportsman competition. Looking at this, though, Ponjadrum, who are they going to be fighting? They're going to be fighting Kablooey Tango in their first matchup in day 2. Looks like that one's going to be one of the first ones to kick off our day as well. Hopefully they don't do it before we go live at NHRL. Kablooey Tango versus Ponjadrum. Kablooey Tango, of course, part of Team Valkyrie and WPI, captained by Lucy Dew, the person who drives Valkyrie now. It's a very, very solid robot, and it's probably going to tear apart Ponjadrum in this battle of the orange machines. I'd love to be wrong, but that's just how I see things going, unfortunately. Going back to our bracket, though, in a second. Looks like Pepe Sylvia did end up making it through to the main competition. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I guess one of its fights weren't aired or something, or maybe 30 Below's fights weren't aired. The matchup 30 Below did have with Pepe Sylvia, was very close, so I'm not exactly too sure what happened there. Regardless, though, Pepe Sylvia did advance to the bracket. We see it right here. It is a walking full-body drum made by Luke Quintal of Copperhead fame, the new captain of Copperhead. It is an insane machine, and just like Panjadrum is going to have quite an insane challenge against Knockoff White from Bots FC. A very, very powerful robot. Probably the best hammer slash axe bot machine in the small bots world. That's going to be two 45-pound robots fighting in the arena too. That's going to be 90 pounds of machine girth inside the box. Big time hammer versus a big time drum. Oh man, so many fights on this bracket that I just can't wait for. There's another one down there. Look at that. We aren't even talking about these robots really today. Chonky versus Red Storm. It is going to be a 30-pound version of Claw Viper taking on a shuffling 45-pound full body spinner. Then we got Texas' own Squire right under it. Tsunami, a machine which is already qualified for the NHRL finals right under that. A lot of good things happening here. But how is Disinformation, the other robot from Hardcore Robotics, doing? We already talked about fake news. Well, it looks like, oh man, just like poor fake news, Disinformation is going to be taking on a very meta veteran of NHRL here in Phenomenon, another machine which is already qualified for the NHRL finals. Single elimination, like I mentioned, only one can leave here on top, Phenomenon and Disinformation. I really do believe Phenomenon has the shape advantage in a situation like that. I got to admit, you know, Disinformation does not have the feeder wedge. They do have a mini bot, but Johnny Sampas captaining that mini bot, driving it around. So maybe they could play a little bit of a distraction game with that. We'll just have to wait and see. Disinformation, though, taking on Phenomenon. That's going to be tough. Emulsifier as well. Already qualified. Not already qualified, I should say. My bad. The defending champion of NHRL's 2022 30-pound season. This, like I mentioned yesterday, their first appearance of the entire season in any competition. We haven't seen this machine at Motorama, at any other East Coast or West Coast events. It has been solely here at NHRL June. Hopefully we can see it a little bit more before the finals, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's taking on Crater, and oh, as I take a drink here. I've been surviving off these Mountain Dews, dude. It's probably not good for my soul. Definitely not good for my teeth, but hey, y'all know me. I'm usually a Buble guy. Crater actually comes from Team Hassim from California. Not California, I'm sorry. Sorry to you guys. Colorado. And, I always talk about Beam. Beam being a robot I really want to see appear at NHRL. It is probably about as Tomb Clone gets. 2 big wheels, 1 big blade, tombstone-shaped body, championships pretty much everywhere from Colorado to Harrisburg. Very, very solid robot. We didn't get Beam at this competition, but from Team Hassim, we do have Crater with a K. When we first saw Crater compete in this competition, it was fighting Knockoff White. The glass cannon really had nothing to do in terms of answers for Knockoff White. Knockoff White just laid that accent again and again and again. We were wondering what was going to happen to poor Crater. For such a popular team, it would have been a shame to see them go 0-1, and that was that. But it looks like they did find their way into the bracket, only to have to fight the other Bots FC robot, Emulsifier here. Like I mentioned, the top seed, our head honcho, big name in the bracket. Oh, man, I'm very eager to see how this fight goes. Pretty much a glass cannon vertical spinner against a glass cannon undercutter. Those treads are going to be very prone. Ooh, excuse me, jeez. Mountain Dew. Those treads are going to be very prone against a very powerful undercutter like Crater has. So we'll just have to see how it goes. And under that, looks like Yahoo did end up bouncing back. Yahoo versus Vorion here. Vorion had an okay performance yesterday. Made it on TV once compared to Yahoo, who had a very tough performance on TV. Vorion looks good. Very much like Phenomenon. It's got the tiger stripes on the wedge. Looks pretty damn good, all things considered. So overall here, Phenomenon versus Disinformation. Tsunami versus HMP. I'm surprised HMP is still in the competition. Squire, Texas' Own versus Catalyst. Chunky versus Red Storm. Knockoff White versus Pepe Sylvia. Kablooey Tango versus Panjadrum. Yahoo versus Vorion. And Emulsifier versus Crater. Of all these robots, I believe only Kablooey Tango, Squire, and Phenomenon have already, and Tsunami. So 4 of these 16 have already qualified for the NHRL finals. 12 of these 4, so that means we got 4, morning brain. We got 12 candidates eligible to potentially appear in the finals. Only 4 of them will do it, though. We're going to have to send 8 of these robots home. Very unhappy. Packing with a tail between their legs. Hopefully we can get some of these bigger names like, you know, Emulsifier, Yahoo, Red Storm, this information into the finals. Would very much love to see it. Vorion, you can wait. We already got one of y'all in the finals. That's just how I feel about the whole thing. But we'll just have to see how it goes. Kind of same with Chonky, to be honest. Though I do want to see Chonky in the NHRL finals. We've seen it do some great stuff at other events. I'm going to be right back, though. I'm going to go over my predictions before we wrap up because we are now only T-minus 16 minutes away from NHRL kicking off their day. But I got to run to the restroom real quick. I will be right back in a jiffy. Bella. What? We'll go out soon. I got her with me. Ooh. So with just over 10 minutes left on our stream, I am back. Fresher, way less. You know how it goes. Hope y'all are still having a great morning. Y'all probably finished your coffee by now. Have had your breakfast. Have done all of that. Let's go ahead and check out the NHRL stream, see if they've officially got anything going today yet. Oh, I did the thing where I went to the Ukrainian NFT person's page again. All right. I think I did. If I don't do that once a stream, I'm a loser. See what we got here. Check in. Oh, geez, see, make sure nothing crazy has happened yet. I really hope they don't do any big matches before stream officially kicks off. We do see some 7:47 a.m. still here, but maybe they haven't done that yet? Question mark. Very unsure about what exactly is happening here. Looks like the rookie bracket has already gotten underway, though. Looking at some of the names here. Tricker Beater against Count Forcula. That's a fun matchup. Frogment defeated Red Peril. Is going to fight Osmia. That's coming up. Timber defeat. Oh, it was a forfeit. Okay. Looks like we're going to have Smash versus Timber. Maybe that's happening right now. Goldust defeated Rick Roller. Have a Nice Day defeated Killy. The Army Ants knocked out a robot? We better get footage of that. I want to see that. Knight defeated Harold. Beezus defeated Madamizer. Echobot defeated Bashful. Little Wooly. There we go. It's another bot I'm happy to see win. Beat Crookie Crumbler. Looks like Bull Moose and Ice Blade's happening right now. Swaggerus got an advancement. Cranky got an advancement. Epsilon got an advancement. We'll probably follow this tournament as the day progresses on the NHRL stream. And hopefully, go back to this bracket here real quick. They're not doing nothing crazy and being impatient with these. I'm not sure. Yep, nope, they have not started their live stream yet. So before we leave, there's something I didn't get to show everyone yesterday, and that is who has already qualified for the NHRL finals. Now, this is updated as of, well, day before yesterday. No one has officially qualified yet. That will change in a few hours, but here's what we have. The robots on your farthest left of each row are the robots which won that respective class. We've had 3 events, of course, so far in the NHRL season, 4 robots qualifying out of each one. In the 3-pound class, during the January event, Puka was our champion with Kickstart, Wicked Twister, and Offbeat qualifying. Of course, in March, we saw Chubby Unicorn get its big victory with Voxel, Beetlejuice, and Clyde, everyone's favorite flame robot, qualifying in March. And then just last month, in May, we saw Droopy make its long-time return to NHRL and defeat the likes of Caldera and Fully Defined to make its way, back on top. Tommy Wong getting the golden dumpster once again. Thankfully, Caldera, Fully Defined, already had also qualified. And then we got Synthesis, a bit of a wild card. We're going to see it later today. Can't wait for that. Then in the 12-pound class, we already talked about Torrential and Torrent. They're a little bit controversial, but they are very solid robots. Torrential won the 12-pound class last time. But we also got to see Hooligan during that event. We also got to see the rare horizontal spinner in Yoshimi. Not as rare anymore with machines like Cthulhu, Maximizer, and the like. We also have moving down here, I guess I should say. Jameson goes Psycho. One of many championships Jameson has won over the past few months in pretty much just about every single class. Prom Hada also qualified in that event. Full Court had a much better showing that event. Qualified in March, as did Blackjack. Surprised we didn't see Blackjack today. And then in May, Maximizer from the University of Cincinnati, that amazing design, managed to defeat Crunk, Carmen, and Voxel back-to-back team defective machines, making it look like making it look like Nightcrawler kind of. That was a great performance by Maximizer. But as we see there, what do we have? 12 robots confirmed for the 12-pound finals, and what? Prom Hada, Crunk, Carbon, Voxel. So many of them are team defective machines, and we're probably going to see Yob and all add to those ranks before the weekend's over. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Eva, Squire, Kablooey Tango, and Deathpack were the new bots qualifiers in the 30-pound class. Deathpack is not the hottest robot, I got to admit. It's going to be fodder in the NHRL finals. I hate to say it. I hope they can prove me wrong. Kablooey Tango has been getting reps on reps. Probably has fought more than any other 30-pound robot. We're seeing Squire today. They haven't had their Looney Tunes loss as of yet compared to what they did versus EVA. In fact, they gained some, they went ahead and actually got some vengeance back. Team YO Robotics has Wicked Wedge XL at this competition instead of EVA, trying to qualify a different robot into the competition. And Squire made short work of Wicked Wedge. You got to give the team credit. They looked great in that matchup. It's a shame they got knocked out later in the competition. In the, let's see here, the March competition, joining Psycho, we saw Megatron win that competition, another victory for Jameson Go. He was able to defeat the also qualified Phenomenon pretty easily in the finals. We were also able to see Anxiety and STF qualify. I'm sorry, this whole time I've been saying that Tsunami has already qualified for the NHRL finals. I've gotten them mixed up with Anxiety. That's completely on me. I do apologize. STF and Anxiety, the other two robots to qualify out of March. STF is such a beautiful robot. And then we have Waddles. Waddles was supposed to be at this event. I'm not sure what exactly happened. I believe they had the forfeit. It won, though, last time. And runner-up would be Kitchen Grill. Actually, I don't believe it was the runner-up, actually. I apologize. I believe he got third since Kablooey Tango made it to the top two. Kitchen Grill got third, the only British robot to make it to the final so far, coming out of Ireland. And then the only Brazilian robot to make it to the final so far. You know we love him. Everyone in Brazil loves this guy, apparently. Shibata, Rato Bolachado. With his horizontal spinner, Shibata, they've already qualified for the finals. And so have, of course, our boys, Ripperoni, Lil Rip, whatever you want to call him, from Omega Team representation there in the farthest corner of our qualified page. But what about my predictions to win this one? Well, they're all still intact. I feel like when I tuned in last time for our NHRL streams, we were not intact with our predictions. But I don't believe any of the robots on screen right now have lost yet so far, and hopefully they won't lose yet. If I can come to you guys tomorrow with Minor Threat, Silent Spring, and Emulsifier, our champions, while it's not the boldest of takes, I'd be very proud of what I did. Gotta say, Silent Spring has a pretty easy opponent coming up, I would say. It's going to be all vertical spinners for Silent Spring, so hopefully they can figure it out. I believe Emulsifier should do more than enough to qualify into the finals and probably win this whole thing. Emulsifier is a tough motherfucking robot. Minor Threat 5 I'm a little bit more worried about, with Disco being its first opponent on the day today. Like I mentioned, Motorama All-Stars, Motorama Royalty squaring up inside the NHRL arena. That's going to be very special. Vertical spinner versus vertical spinner. But with the Streamic on Minor Threat 5, even with Derek Tran driving, I'm sorry, man, time. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it and say I think that Minor Threat will be our champion, holding up the Golden Dumpster. Kind of curious how the money will be split then. Isn't that like, what, $1,000 that you win? Maybe $5,000 that you win if you take an NHRL championship. I think it's only $1,000 for the monthly events. What are you going to do? Split 500, 500? I don't know. Very intriguing. We'll have to see how it goes. But what are some other things you want to shout out before we get off here today on our second pre-show here for Sparky Circus at NHRL? I want to give a quick shout out to Milk Tank. Do want to give a quick shout out to Milk Tank. Usually when we see Milk Tank at these competitions, it's a fun joke bot, but this time it's taking out the fun joke bots. They had a very solid horizontal spinning weapon on their machine for this competition, and they were actually able to rip apart a robot named Cerberus. So really, I mean, geez, the machine just went full circle with that situation. That was pretty insane. Made the bracket, I believe it did make the 12-pound bracket, but it got ripped apart in two by Torrential, which is why Torrential is where it is in the tournament right now. Very brutal loss for Milk Tank, but that is classic Milk Tank fashion. They still did very good. Nothing to be ashamed of. What are some other fun machines? We've seen Steel Mountain make a pretty far run in this competition. I don't know if they are still in the field or not. Nope. Tomato Soup beat him. That's a bummer. Tomato Soup's also been on a bit of a crazy run for a control bot. Those SSP kits, they're probably going to become the new D2 kits, I got to say. They have the active weapon. They compete at NHRL competitions. Something them D2 kits can't do. Caldera, though, defeated Tomato Soup, put it away, and that gave us Caldera versus Clyde on deck for today. What are some other fun robots? I already talked about Army Ants. Evil Twin. There we go. I believe that was even on the NHRL YouTube page. I saw it a second ago. Evil Twin. What a fun design this robot is. Of course, we've seen from the guys from Cooperstown, New York, some very fun robots coming out of the past with a personal favorite of mine, my favorite robot that I've seen this year in 2023, in terms of new robots at least, was positively hysterical. Now, of course, we've seen this robot fight with the likes of, the Bouquet of Death, the paws, the stamp paw, the big squeaky hammer, like we see right here, the big squeaky hammer. Look at that thing. It's pulled off some pretty crazy victories in the past, but now, in this competition, I believe it's already eliminated, unfortunately. It took on a new moniker, a label, Evil Twin, the red and black attack. It looked great, looked the part. Unfortunately, it lost to Sad Octopus. Not Chubby Unicorn. Chainsaw Kitty avenged that loss. But yeah, look at this thing right here. Evil Paws coming to you. This thing has an ant-weight hammer saw on it. It's pretty insane. I mean, it's obviously not ripping apart any robots, but this is just a fun way to end our live stream here. Hopefully we can see Evil Twin. Evil Paws would have been a fun name. Evil Twin makes some exhibition appearances over the stream today. But look at the time, guys. It is 8 a.m. So we've already seen that the House of Havoc has already opened its doors for today. We've updated you guys on some untelevised fights that have happened. But hey, thank you all so much for watching this event. I'm sorry, I don't even know if event's the right term for this. We got Jammer in the chat, a longtime TCC fan. It's good to see you. He's trying to make ant weights now, so look forward to that. But thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. We're going to be doing one more live stream tomorrow. Putting together all of my notes here to run down 10 robots from each class that we've been taking a good, magnifying glass to, seeing how well they performed. Love to see how that goes. And then the following day, we're going to be recording Robot Combat tonight on our Discord server, so look forward to that. Back to back days of live streams here for the Combot Collective. Woo! Kind of intense. It feels like RoboGames all over again. But thank you guys so much for watching. Yes, get ready for Alternate Dimension. I love that name. Very excited for it. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. We've had another hour of talking robots. It's been a lot of fun with you guys. Let's watch some NHRL and let's crown some golden dumpster holders. Till tomorrow, this has been Sterling Brown here at the Combot Collective. Follow us on our social media pages. But hey, we'll see ya.